In today's video, I'm going to give you a full tour of American Serenade, this modern riverboat from American Cruise Lines. We're on the Tennessee River, and the ship is visiting Florence, Alabama. From these aerial shots from my drone, you can see that we don't need a dock. The captain has just brought the ship up to this park along the river. They ran some lines to a couple of trees in the park, raised up the cover of the bow, and extended a gangway out onto the shore. Well, let's start the tour up on the sun deck at the very top of the ship. That's my wife wearing the red top, and I'm in the shade to her right, controlling the drone. You can see that there's all sorts of very comfortable patio furniture up on the sun deck, so this is a great place to relax. There are loungers, there are sofas, lots of comfortable places to sit and read a book or have a conversation. There are tables and chairs if you'd like to play cards or bring a meal up here. From this angle, it's a little easier to see that blue jogging or walking track that goes all the way around the sun deck. There's a shuffleboard court with the pucks and sticks right there next to it. You don't have to check those out from anybody. It's just right there for you. If it's a hot day and you don't want to actually sit in the sun, you can go under one of those big white sunshades to be in the shade. Here's a close-up look at some of the patio furniture. Notice the big, thick cushions and the pillows. It's a very comfortable place to relax. There's some of the patio furniture that's under the sunshades, and you can see the ship was in motion when I shot this video clip. And notice the leaves of the plants moving around in the breeze a little bit. That breeze helps keep things cool up here on a warm summer day. Here's a shot from just before sunset one night. You can see people enjoying that walking path and getting some nice views on their walk. At the very back end of the top deck, there's a set of stairs to take you down to the fourth floor. Let's go back to the aerial view to show it a little better. You can see that on the fourth floor there's a nice outdoor area with tables and chairs. People like to eat out there on the patio area because that's where there's a little cafe that serves a casual lunch like hamburgers, hot dogs, and pizza. They're also open for breakfast too. To keep insects from getting inside the ship, they've actually gotten away from using that outdoor window to the grill. Instead, you just place your order here with these folks inside the Sky Lounge, which is here at the aft end of deck number 4. There are tables and chairs here in the Sky Lounge. And if you order breakfast or lunch from the grill, you can eat it here or out on the patio or take it back to your cabin. There's also comfortable furniture to relax on here in the Sky Lounge. Grab a book off the bookshelf and read it here or take it back to your cabin. There are snacks like chips and granola bars here in the Sky Lounge, and a machine where you can get coffee or espresso. Just underneath that, those 2 silver appliances under the counter. One is a commercial ice maker, and the other is a refrigerator full of cold beverages. Help yourself. And twice each day, they set out fresh cookies here in the Sky Lounge. As I walk down the hallway on deck 4, there are a lot of cabins on the left and right. The cabins here on deck 4 are suites, the best cabins on the ship. At midship, this is where the elevators are and the main stairway. Notice that there's a skylight up above to keep things nice and bright here. Right next to the elevators here on the 4th floor is the entrance to the High Note Lounge. This is just a nice little lounge at midship with some tables and chairs. Play a game of cards here or a game of chess, or just use this room as a place to chat with other people you meet. If you take the Deck 4 hallway all the way up to the front of the ship, you'll often see the ship's officers up here because Deck 4 forward is where you'll find the ship's pilot house. That's where the captain and the first mate pilot the ship, and they've got all sorts of special equipment to assist because the ship does most of its sailing at night. Here in Florence, we're docked at a park, so we see trees out the window of the pilot house now, but normally, of course, they'd be looking at what's ahead of the ship on the river. We're down to the 3rd floor now, and this is one of my favorite places on the ship. It's a fantastic forward-facing viewing deck at the very front of the ship. This is the best place to sit outside and have a view of what's ahead of the ship. From the comfort of a chair on this viewing deck on the 3rd floor, you'll have great views of everything along the river, like the bridges and other ships that are working on the river. So this was my favorite place to just sit down and relax and take in the views outside in the fresh air so that you can enjoy the smell of the forest land alongside the river and the sounds of the river, too. If you've watched some of the other videos I've posted about this cruise, no doubt you saw some of the time-lapse videos I shot from the ship, like this one that you're watching right now. This is where I shot those time-lapse videos from. In fact, you can see my GoPro clamped onto the railing there. That's how those time-lapse videos were made. Those windows you see on the right there, those are the big picture windows at the front of the River Lounge. Here's an aerial shot of the ship from my drone. If you look just behind the bow, you can see those big windows. They look black in this lighting. The viewing deck is right in front of those windows. And if you look carefully, you can see 6 people sitting out on the viewing deck enjoying the views. The pilot house is one deck above that. That's where the captain is. And if you're watching on a really big screen, you can even see me up on the top deck with the drone's controllers in my hands and my wife wearing a green top acting as my lookout, watching for power lines, low-flying airplanes, birds, or any other threat to the drone. Now, inside the River Lounge at the front of the ship on Deck 3, that's where cocktail hour happens. The drinks flow freely. There are hors d'oeuvres served here. Sometimes there are ice cream sundaes or shakes or root beer floats. Sometimes there's entertainment during cocktail hour, and there's always entertainment later in the evening after dinner. And the entertainment always takes place up here in the River Lounge on Deck 3. Now, during the day, you're always welcome to come into the River Lounge and grab some cookies or chips or granola bars or whatever snacks they happen to be offering. This is available 24/7. And down below the counter, just like in the lounge on Deck 4, you're welcome to grab a cold soft drink out of the refrigerator, and there's ice available here too. There's also a coffee machine, and my wife loved that there was a hot water dispenser so that she could make tea. There is a really nice piano here in the River Lounge. This is actually the historian that was traveling with the ship the week I was aboard. She gives lectures on the history of the places we were visiting, but on this particular night, she got to show off her skills on the piano, too, during cocktail hour. That was a real treat for me. And on another day, when most of the passengers were ashore on excursions, I walked into the River Lounge and found one of my fellow passengers at the piano. And he was kind enough to play this great old Lee Greenwood song for me and my camera. Continuing the tour, we're still on Deck 3. We're at midship now, near the elevators and the main staircase. Notice all that great natural light pouring down the staircase from the skylight up above. Next to the elevators, you'll find a small lounge known as the study. It's just a comfortable, quiet place to read a book or have a conversation. It does have a fairly large table, so this would be a great spot for that really big card game. Before I forget, I want to just mention that a great thing about every ship in the American Cruise Line's fleet is that every cabin on every one of the ships is a balcony cabin. So unlike the big mega cruise ships doing Caribbean cruises, there are no interior cabins or cabins that just have a window. Every cabin on American Cruise Lines has a balcony. As we head down the hallway on Deck 3, there are cabins on both sides of the hallway. And we're heading to the far back end of the ship. That door at the end of the hallway leads out to a little outdoor area at Deck 3 aft, where you can catch views of what's behind the ship, or take a set of stairs up or down to the other decks. That brings us to deck number 2 on American Serenade. Again, there are cabins on the left and right sides of the hallway, and if you take the hallway all the way to the front of the ship, there's a doorway that leads out to a crew-only area up at the bow of the ship. Midship on Deck 2, this is the elevator area by the main stairwell. This is a door that opens up here, midship on Deck 2, and leads to a small balcony area outside. Also, just like most of the other floors, there's a lounge here midship on Deck 2. This one's called the Lyric Lounge. Another cozy little place for you to meet up for a conversation with other passengers. It's a small ship, only about 100 passengers, so it's very easy to meet people and make friends on this ship. Now we're heading down the Deck 2 hallway to the aft end of the ship, where you will find some very useful things, such as the guest laundry facilities. This is a self-service laundry facility for the use of the passengers, and it is not coin operated. There is no charge at all to use these facilities. Even the soap pods and the dryer sheets are free for you to use. So if you run out of clean clothes before the end of the cruise, just come here. Also, here at the back end of Deck 2, you'll find the fitness room with treadmills and other exercise equipment. They feed you frequently on this ship, 3 meals a day, plus cookies and snacks and desserts and cocktails. So the fitness room is available to you if you feel like you need it. Just don't expect to see me there. If you're interested in booking a cruise with American Cruise Lines or any other cruise line, consider booking with my travel agent, Caitlin Gallagher, owner and founder of Ambrin Travel. She'll take good care of you. We are doing the full tour of the ship from top to bottom, and we've made it down to deck number 1. Through those doors to the right of the elevators, you're going to spend a lot of time in here. This is the main restaurant, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And there are quite a few tables for 6, which is fantastic if you like to make friends with the other passengers and share a meal together. There are also quite a few tables for 4. And if you'd rather just have a quiet meal with your sweetie, that's no problem, as there are also tables for 2 here in the restaurant. With a music-related name like American Serenade, it completely makes sense that there is a giant replica of an old-school microphone at the bottom of the main staircase. And before we wrap up this tour of American Serenade, I want to just take you in to one of the cabins to give you a sense of the level of style and comfort. I love the warm color palette that they've decorated with. This is one of the veranda suites up on Deck 4. They're sometimes referred to as a junior suite. They're very similar to the regular balcony cabins on the ship. Those are just a little bit smaller. They don't have those 2 chairs at the foot of the bed. And as I said, every cabin has one of these great balconies. I really enjoyed sitting out on mine and taking in the views. And I also really liked the shower and the design of the 2 different shower heads. You could use one or the other or both at the same time. So that's the top to bottom tour of American Serenade, the newest ship in the fleet for American Cruise Lines, at least for now. Hit the thumbs up button if you thought I did a good job with the video. This was my 5th cruise with American Cruise Lines. Plus, I did one with their sister company, Pearl Seas Cruises, so that's 6, really. And I've got a 7th coming up next month. So I think you can probably tell that I'm a fan of ACL. They are a very good fit for my casual cruising style. There are no formal nights, so I never have to get very dressed up. There's no casino, no art auctions, almost never any kids aboard. And I just really like cruising close to home here in the USA and exploring all these interesting parts of our country that I've never been to before. If you haven't seen them already, be sure to watch the 4 previous videos I made about this cruise. Each episode is about 10 to 15 minutes and shows you where the ship took us and what we saw and did in each one of those places. You should be seeing links up on the screen to all 4 of those videos. Start with the first episode. Just click the icon in the upper left corner of the screen. I'm Jim Zim. Thanks for watching.